Hey, this is Alex from AGR. Basically, I'm just interrupting this video to say that this is a first glimpse on War of the Overworld, which is a Dungeon Keeper clone sort of game. I did this first glimpse about a week ago, and since then it's actually come out into a full game, and I was reviewing it all. Giving a first glimpse on the early access. Now, I just wanted to kind of put this in just to kind of remind you guys that what we saw on the first glimpse was early access. What they've released apparently isn't the full game. There have been some reviews that have unfortunately negatively reviewed it because the game isn't finished, and yet for some reason they've still released the game. Well, most of us are presuming that they've done it because they've run out of cash, and so they need the extra money for the rest of the development of the game. Let's hope that that's what happened, and it isn't just they're giving up on the game and they're just getting it out there to get as much cash as they can. Let's hope they actually finish it. So at the moment, just be wary that the game isn't in a complete condition. Even if it is now on Steam as a full access game, it's not finished according to most of the reviews so far, and hopefully I'll try and get a chance to have a look at it in a couple more weeks, and I'll see how far it's come and whether it's worth paying full price for. I don't think it's a full price game anyway. It's probably going to be about 20 quid full price, so we'll evaluate that closer to the date and see whether it's actually worth the cost. But there are people saying there's still a lot of bugs in the game, and basically the content that's supposed to be in the full release isn't there. So yeah, just enjoy the first glimpse, but be wary that it was done on an early access. There has been a patch since, but I doubt that it's finished and fixed everything. Okay, thank you very much. Ciao. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, this is Alex Bradley coming at you from Anything Geeky Reviewed, and today I'm going to be showing off War of the Overworld. It's in beta. It has been in beta for quite a while actually on Steam's early access. It's been going for a couple of years. I think it was originally backed as a Kickstarter project quite a while ago. It's basically, for those of you who don't know, it's a Dungeon Keeper sort of inspired game, but I definitely think it's probably one of the best ones so far. So let's get into it. We're going to start the campaign, do from the beginning. Let's play. And there's a voice. It does have the original Dungeon Keeper voice, so it actually sounds pretty damn good. But as you can see, it's not completely finished yet. Some of the placeholders aren't quite in, but it has made quite a lot of progress, especially over the last 6 months or so. It's come quite far compared to how when I originally played it about a year and a half ago, probably a little more than that actually. It was still very basic. There was still a lot of things to be done.
Welcome
very
back,
little in the game.
It's been a long time since you were banished to the ether. You've returned as a husk of your former self, but I've taught far denser underlords than you. Let's start with the basics. This is your dungeon core, the tether that allows you to manifest your malignant will. If destroyed, your consciousness will once again be scattered to the void.
Well, the fact is
your
works
workers are an extension of your dark will. They have many jobs, but their main focus is in carving out the halls of your dungeon. Put them to work by clicking and dragging your cursor upon the flashing tiles to tag them for excavation.
You can slap.
Your workers will now rush forth to dig out and claim the tagged area. Once they have laid down the stones, marking the ground as your own, you will be able to build rooms upon the finished tiles. While your lackeys get to work, look to the east of your dungeon core. This is a gateway, one of the many portals that you'll use to attract minions to your dungeon. Order your workers to dig a path to it now.
I'm unfortunately going to go through the basic crap that we always have to go through. So, here's the rooms. I haven't been given access to rooms yet.
Now that you have a gateway, minions can enter into your service. But first you'll need to build the rooms necessary to entice them in. Start by building a barracks. This room will allow your minions to hone their combat skills without the risk of permanent death or disfigurement. Select it and build it by clicking and dragging your hand across the plane.
First. That would make sense,
Most
wouldn't it?
rooms must be built at least 3 by 3 in order to function properly. Though the lair and vault are effective at any size. A gnarling has entered your dungeon. A gnarling has entered your dungeon. Attracted by the barracks, these green-skinned scrappers aren't quite right in the head, and they'll happily hack at your foes until someone is dead. Outside of combat, gnarlings will train themselves within your barracks. You can pick them up with a click if you find them slouching off, then deposit them anywhere within your dungeon with a right click. For further entertainment, you can always put yourself directly into their head by casting possession of them. Now that you have some minions, you will need to cater for their basic needs. First,
that's what I tried.
build
Yeah,
the leg,
and sort of attack, I think.
so the pitiful little meat sacks can get some rest.
There we go, I've got a whip. So many different whips, I presume they're different skills. Yeah. When I originally used possession a couple of weeks ago, that wasn't working, so that's something they seem to have added in, which is cool. I was going to try and get this built, but I'd rather build a bedroom here, actually, because it's bigger.
Well done. But see how your gold reserves have been depleted.
Aye.
Command your workers to mine some of the nearby gold by tagging the gleaming tiles. They collect and return gold to your dungeon coffers, allowing you to spend it on whatever your dark heart desires. Your core can store up to 16,000 gold pieces. But if that number sounds pitifully small, or if wealth inspires the evil in you, simply build a vault to store more. Now that you've got a bit of coin in your pocket, you can build a slaughter pan. This room produces scores of micro-piglets, a delicacy that will sustain the weak flesh of your minions.
Instead of little chickens from the original.
Pig flesh.
I don't want to overtalk him because he's got such a wonderful voice. If only my voice was as deep and charismatic as that. But we'll have to.
Your dungeon has been breached. Cast Rally upon these spectres, and your minions will immediately sally forth to wreak bloody havoc.
That's Rally. You want in? Oh, we're going to get the hit kicked out of it. These ghosts are purple sapples.
Well done. Now finish off the rest of these manifestations with a second rally flag.
They are manifestations. Must be ghosts of previous enemies or something. This is it. It controls very much like the dungeon building, the room building, even the rally cries,
Your
magic, that sort of
Nargles
thing.
made short work of those spectres. But see how they still circle the flag. You can dismiss rally flags by slapping them with a right click.
Aye.
This should allow your minions to return to their jobs and tend to their needs in a timely fashion. You can cast recall upon a minion to immediately return them to your dungeon. Though if they are attacked as it channels, then the spell will fizzle into nothing.
Get as much gold into our vaults as we go. We need a bridge to capture this area. Yeah. First mission. I think what we'll do is we'll probably do 2 missions, because I don't think this is going to be very long. As a first glimpse, and hopefully you guys will enjoy this, because I mean I think a lot of people have been looking for a Dungeon Keeper replacement, or at least an update to the series, because it has been many years since anybody actually did anything with it. I mean, Dungeon Keeper 2 I think was 98, I think, was that the original? I think the second one was 98, I think the original was 96. So it's been, 17 years? 17 years since anything Dungeon Keeper came out, and we've had 1 or 2 tries. I mean, Dungeons a few years ago was a game that tried to do what Dungeon Keeper did, but it did it in a very different way. I remember pre-ordering it and buying it, and it was nowhere near what I expected. It wasn't necessarily a bad game, it just wasn't Dungeon Keeper. This definitely feels a lot more like Dungeon Keeper. I mean, you have the slapping, you have the room building, the dungeons, everything just feels very Dungeon Keeper-esque, and the fact they've got the original Reaper's voice really does kind of add to the game. Use recoil to... so he wants us to do that. It could just...
You're on a roll, Underlord, and I've been waiting far too long to begin my war for the Overworld. Let us enter the realm of Kairos and continue your retraining against a more fitting enemy.
2 little trophies there. Well, the reason why I've decided to do the first clips now is because I've been waiting for them to actually have a decent amount of gameplay. I think when I last tried it about a month ago, they only had 2 missions that were actually voiced by him and playable, so I think they had 4 missions possibly playable, but it wasn't a huge amount. As you can see, these still aren't caked out, so we've only got 3 missions actually at the moment. It's been in early access for quite a while, so I'm hoping they'll kind of finish it soon. It does need to be kind of finished in a way.
We've punctured the veil of this world through a schism, a point of weakness in the bonds between realms. Unfortunately for us, the Empire has crafted defenses to keep us from the heart of their kingdom.
This is no problem.
These inhibitors prevent Underlords from trespass, but whether it's bone or stone, it can be broken. Unfortunately for me, your time in the ether has left you a weak husk of your former self. In order to reacquire your powers, you will need to access the veins of evil. Open them now, and use a sin to unlock the archive.
Yes, this is actually something I added, which I thought was really cool.
This room will allow your minions to research additional sins, which can be spent to recover your lost powers.
Exactly. So basically, what?
Build one now to begin researching additional sins.
Okay, cool. Basically, you can build an archive, which obviously from the original game allowed you to have wizards. I think it was wizards were the good guys actually. I think it was warlocks, wasn't it, for the Dungeon Keepers? And that allowed you to research new spells. Your forgotten powers are far more impressive. And this one, what they've designed is that not only with the archive allow you to research new powers, but it also allows you to research sins. You get to choose what you want. So we start off with barracks, and the archive is the next one. But as you can see, as we work our way down, I don't quite know what these 2 are yet because they haven't been unlocked. But these are all the spells in different rooms. I think unless one of these is spells, I'm not sure yet.
Archive unlocked.
So we need to start building some rooms, really, don't we? I don't quite know where that's going to lead. Get some gold out. Room sort of uniform. Do the same here. That'll make quite a nice layout, I think. To go, we're full up on gold apparently. So That's why it's all been left everywhere. What we could do is actually get some more minions. Can we, there used to be a spell that you could ask for more minions sort of thing. So that's weak. That's the rally banner. That must be for calling minions or for cancelling. Or for, yeah, you used to have this ability that you could stop minions from going past a certain point. So, say if I opened this up and I knew there were enemies on the other side, minions have this habit of just wandering everywhere trying to capture territory for you. So you can put a little banner down, you stop them going past a certain point. Cool health, that's payday. Yeah, every couple of days you've got to basically pay everybody. Depending on how many minions you have, depending on what level they are, will depend kind of on how much you have to fork out really. Which room is it? We need a hatchery, don't we? So let's see what's around here. Ooh. Top Shrine of Perception. I wonder if that'll give us a spell or something. Oof. It does take a while to capture, doesn't it? Maybe I should slap him a bit. Hoard of gold, and that's the enemy walls. So we don't want to go too close to that. Look at this wonderful gold. I've got to get at least a 3x3 room out of this somehow. That's going to have to do, I think. Mess with that, don't I? We build it over here, we get all the gold. We'll leave the gold in. I don't know why, but when you're used to building dungeons, you like to have them unique, as in like symmetrical. So you try and make all the rooms as neat as possible, which is why you go for squares. At least that's how most of us usually try it, but it doesn't always work out that way. Sometimes you have to kind of sacrifice that for other gains. So plenty of gold. Archive, made a pigsty first.
A gnarling has entered your dungeon.
Plenty of food, and then we can have this lovely laboratory over here. I'm going to do that little room. Yeah man, jump it up. So what do we have? We have one gnarling. Works in barracks, collects rat bones and shiny objects. As soon as we put that in an archive, we should start getting wonderful warlocks. I think they're called something slightly different to this. We'll see in a minute, I suppose.
Occultist has entered your
Occultist.
Occultist has found its way into your dungeon. Attracted by the magical tomes within your archive, these minions will spend most of their time researching sins for you. Though they are weak combatants, they have the power to curse your foes, making them weak to your other minions' blows.
An interesting alternative, because the warlocks before were actually quite good combatants. They'd be like spell wielders basically, firing fireballs. So they were weak, especially compared to some of your other tough enemies, but they certainly weren't just cursing enemies, so it's a bit different in this, but what's he doing? Come on, Tappy Chop. I miss being able to slap things. I don't know yet whether there is a torture room. As some of you might remember from the original, you could have a torture chamber and you can attract certain minions. It seems definitely to be the same sort of setup with rooms. If you have a specific room, then you attract specific creatures, which is cool. It means that they're sticking to kind of the original formula. And you also have to try and attract creatures to you, rather than just getting random creatures. So you can often customize your army if you don't want specific creatures within your army. You just don't build certain rooms, which is actually quite difficult sometimes because you want to have certain rooms. I mean, playing the game without an archive could be quite troublesome. Same with the barracks. I mean, not being able to train your troops would be quite a pain in the ass. So these guys aren't that happy. Yeah, man. Yeah, move on. So what do we have there? We have a door there. Let's open this one up and see what's inside. Our treasure is full again.
Your minions have researched a new sin for you. Your cultists have worked hard to earn a new sin. Use it within the veins of evil to unlock the Tavern. This room provides your minions with succulent cooked pig flesh and stout ales. After eating a meal within its hearthed halls, their spirits will be raised, increasing their productivity for a short time.
That's a bit versatile. We're filled by your workers.
Tavern unlocked. Rooms will only attract a certain number
that must be the spell
before
section.
becoming
That
full. In order to attract more, you will need to expand them. Build one now. And remember that the Tavern is unique. It must be built at least 3 by 5 in order to be effective.
3, yep. So it's interesting that they set it up.
You'll still need a slaughter pen in order to keep your tavern stocked. But in a pinch, you can always drop some alternative meat into the grinder.
Okay. I'm guessing that could be any sort of creature. We can now unlock prophecy. Temporary with a fog of war in a small area.
Prophecy unlocked.
250 mana? Yeah, we can afford that.
It is payday. Nothing in this life is free under Lord, and you'll regularly need to pay your minions for their hard work. Be sure to keep an eye on your reserves, for if you've not enough gold for their wages, they'll be swift to find gainful employment elsewhere. Fortunately, your minions will return some of their earnings by buying meals within your own tavern. What a delicious arrangement.
It's interesting that in this one that they've expanded the room idea now, so to get more creatures of a specific type you just build a bigger room. I don't think the original had that feature. It was just you kept getting a steady stream of every creature you could. I think you had a chance of getting specific ones more often, like goblins and things. What we have in this one is gnarlings.
Stairs out there. Scouts, go find what the hell's making all that racket.
Rally your minions to defeat these scouts once they breach your dungeon.
They're gonna breach that.
Let's keep Sarusimov in the dark a little while longer. You should try using the lightning and heal spells to assist your minions in combat.
Oh, combat them yet. I've been waiting for them. Let's get our lightning ready. Give me it. Step into my territory. Oh, there we are. Completely no. That lightning's a bit overpowered.
The health of minions is represented by petals surrounding their unit shield. Once no petals remain, a creature will fall unconscious and soon die, unless returned to its lair to recover.
They should be back by now. Ugh. Bar the doors. We wait for reinforcements.
Look how easily your minions cut down these sappers. If I didn't know better, I'd say the Empire is woefully unprepared.
Beat him up. There's a bunch of level 2s. Gonna wait for our minions to count on the slow coaches. Useless. Bunch of useless idiots. So we have 2 more doors to go through. To there, and then we've got the archive. I think that's pretty good.
Dismiss your rally flag to let your minions mend their wounds and return to work. Slap the rally flag to dismiss it, and allow your minions to tend their needs.
Yeah, but I thought we came out with a campaign. Fine.
Once minions are rested, you can leave them to their work or force them to train by dropping them in a barracks.
We stop them from going past a certain point. Those buttons are going to be a little easier to access, actually, I think. Hopefully that should stop them going past there. Yeah, I think so. So, defeats so optional force occultist to train in the back. So that's easy enough. We'll just grab you and put you in there. You little shit.
That's enough training for now. When you're ready, rally your minions to the inhibitor and defeat Sir Rusimov.
Yeah, come on in. You can always train your creatures for far longer. You can train them up. The original game, I am comparing this a lot to Dungeon Keeper because it does play a lot like Dungeon Keeper. But the original game was up to the point, I think, where you could train them up to level 4 in the barracks, and then to train them any further, you had to train them in the. They had like a gladiator pit where you'd verse 2 or 3 of them against each other. That was the only way to get up to level 8, and then past level 8, you had to get them combat trained in battle. There was no other option about it, so that was pretty cool. It made the training creatures kind of like a routine where you had to go through certain steps. Ooh, he's just trapped himself off with the net. That was still a mistake. Minions capturing the territory. We've got the boss man there. Claim a tower. What does it say? Sir Rusimov. So level 1, he's got 1200 health. Are we ready to fight? I wonder why the big boss man, only level 1, are always critical for level 4. Makes much sense. Can't use lightning in enemy territory though, but at least I can heal. No, just to keep these level 1s a level.
I am extinguished.
It seems almost charitable to put him out of his misery. Well done, Underlord. You're learning much faster this time.
And there we are. Mission 2. There's only one more mission. So, Chapter 3, The Breach. And obviously you can see all pretty work our way around the campaign map. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. It's definitely worth a try. I mean, it's got skirmish mode at the moment, a couple of different maps, a lot more is going to be added. Of course, it's got the survival and sandbox modes and multiplayer. I have never tried multiplayer yet. I don't know whether there's that many multiplayer. Let's have a quick look, see whether there's actually any multiplayer servers up at the moment or games being boosted. I'm guessing there probably isn't a lot at the moment because it isn't finished. I don't think it's going to find anything. That's fair enough. But I hope you guys enjoyed that first glimpse of War of the Overworld. Hopefully, a few more months it will become a lot more fully fleshed. It's already come quite a good way, but it's still got the missions and things to finish off before the game can be really sold as a complete game. But it's actually really good so far, and it does remind you a lot of Dungeon Keeper. It's got a lot of the spirit of Dungeon Keeper, which is exactly what we really want. So that's why we wanted to show the game off at the
point, mate. It was quite an enjoyable experience. So thank you guys, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me. Hopefully you enjoyed that, and we will see you next time.